California. You know, I was born and raised in California, Southern California to be exact, Los Angeles area, Orange County area. I'm currently in San Diego, California, and I haven't made it up to my stomping grounds yet. I'm here for work. So I got some communication from this gentleman a few months ago asking if I was willing to travel to California. And I said, well, like every place, as long as the expenses are paid, I don't have to pay for airfare and, you know, all that different stuff that you would have to pay for, then I'm good. Like, I would charge you the same amount as if you were down the road from me. Anyway, through our conversation, he told me he had an estimate, and of course everything in California is more expensive, that he had an estimate for $20,000, $22,000, something like that, to build a shower. I'm like, holy crap, I can do it for half that cost, you know, for what he wants done. And so we're going to go in and take a look at what he wants done. And some of this stuff was already taken care of. This is my second real day. My third day here, but my second day of kind of working. So we get into this. I'm going to post pictures, or I'll insert a video or something like that if I can. I don't remember if I have it on my WhatsApp or not. But I'll show you what it looked like prior to us doing some of the demo. The shower that was currently here is basically the same footprint as we're going back with. It's only going to increase by probably about 4 square feet, maybe. I tried to convince him to get a little bit wider, a little bit deeper shower, and he wasn't going to go for it, so that's all good. But anyway, long story short, or short story longer, this is hold on a second. This is a house that was built many moons ago, and there's 3 different showers here. He had a bathtub shower, a tub shower combo that he had done by another contractor prior to me coming here, because they needed that to be functional before they tore out this. This is going to be the master shower, master bathroom, as it were. There's going to be a vanity, a double vanity over here, as I think there already was one. And all the sheetrock's going to go back, and most of this stuff I did not tear out. The homeowner tore all this stuff out. So when I got here, basically what I'm looking at is none of this 2x4 was here. The drain for the old shower was there, but it was, I'll show it, it's outside still, but it was encapsulated with plastic and all that stuff, and I didn't know what I was getting into necessarily. Although this is an exterior wall, and the curvature of the foundation usually runs, your slab as it were, is about 4 to 6 inches, and from that 4 to 6 inches it incrementally increases on a curvature as it gets to the foundation, and it could be 12, 14 inches, and then yeah, it gets very deep, and that's what I anticipated, but that's not what happened. So when I cut out the drain, the P-trap that was here, the ABS, because apparently in California everything is ABS, most everything. So I cut out the P-trap, and oddly enough they built in this box, and I say box because whenever you have a tub, whether it's upstairs or in a concrete foundation, they'll build out a box, and in this case it was kind of a circular box that they built out, and then that way retroactively a plumber could come in here and do what he needs to with the piping. Oddly enough, this was a walk-in shower that they did not encapsulate with concrete. There was a thin layer of concrete at the top, but most of all this was dirt, so the P-trap was in the dirt and all that stuff, and it was kind of deep. And then if you see this little 2 inches of concrete that was on top of the pipe, and this is a stack, and we had to remediate the stack because it's going to be a wall over here. I'll get to that in a minute. So when I tore that out, in order to get this drain center, we had to rent a 14-inch concrete saw, and I didn't know they had an electric one, but they did. It doesn't have much horsepower, so if you're going to do something like this, I highly suggest, you know, breathing in all that toxic gas fumes and get yourself, you know, a motor rather than electric. Anywho, this is what we got accomplished today. We managed to do this little trough. You know, we cut, and we only need that rise over there from that pipe. So we cut down about 5 inches and 5 inches, and then we were lucky enough 6 inches down to hit grade, which is wonderful. So the P-trap and the line that's going to run from here to here is perfectly center. I think that's my mark. But it's perfectly center for the shower. And then going forward, all of this is going to be encapsulated in 2x6 because in order to facilitate all the plumbing that's encapsulated into the concrete foundation, we got to run 2x6, make it a little thicker wall. This is not going to be a wall. This is going to be just an outside curb. They're going to put panel glass up here. Panel glass. And the door is going to be here with a solid wall, the 2x6 wall. As it turns out, we got lucky on a couple of things. That was the very first, no, sorry. There was another thing we got lucky on. I'll get back to that. That was the second thing that we got extremely lucky on. Being able to hit grade and not having to, you know, we got a jackhammer. There's a Makita jackhammer over there. Not being able to hit grade rather than have to deal with all this concrete, because this is 6 inches thick or better as it curves down to the foundation. So that being said, that was the second thing we got lucky on. The other thing we got lucky on is that the studs here are, this is a 9-foot ceiling in change, 94 something or something. I don't remember the exact measurement, but the exact measurement, if you put 3 2x4s or anything that's 1.5 inches times 3, then one of these 2x6s will fit in there like a glove. In fact, we did it right here in this this little thing. We cut out all the little tiny cross beams that were in there, and it fits like a glove. I actually had to hammer that in to get it to be a tight fit, but that is one length of 2x6 that fits like a glove. And there's the 2 2x4s up there, and then there's the one at the bottom of the plate. So we have to replicate that over here to get a perfect fit, but there's no cutting of any of these 2x6s, which is wonderful. So there's 2 there, and there'll be a third one up there, and then we'll be able to have the wall. There's going to be another 2x6 here, and then wherever the shower valve, which will be center of the drain, probably another 2x6 somewhere over here, and then a couple here at the end. And then I can start doing the plumbing and get that fixture put in. It's going to be a Delta faucet. So that's what's going on. I am here for 2 weeks. And during that 2-week time, I don't anticipate it'll take that long. This is the biggest conundrum that we run into, trying to get this drain center. And now we've tackled that. And so before the end of the day, that drain will be in. The shale will be put back, dirt, shale, and then concrete. Got a couple bags of concrete ready to go. So the concrete will be put back in there, and it's fast-setting concrete. So my assumption is, but before the end of the day, assuming that this wall gets done, I might be able to put in my pan liner. And going forward, it's just same old, you know, pan liner, mortar bed, and then wallboard and all that stuff. But I guess the long and short of it is the 14 days that I have to work on this project will probably take 10, I'm guessing, because I only have this wall. We're going to tile this entire wall. I don't know why he wants to do that, but it's kind of a groovy tile. So this wall will be fully tiled, and then this short wall, 44 inches, will be tiled. So the tiling phase won't be a whole lot, but the prep is a lot. And so I'm anticipating probably about 10 days. Yeah, so just kind of interesting to me that of all the tile guys out here in California, and I won't name names, that he chose me. And he is an engineer, an electrical engineer, and he's very precise about measurements and micrometers and calipers and all that stuff. So, you know, it's okay. It's not, we're not building a rocket, we're building a shower, but I do have to deal with basically a partner. Like, I'm not doing the shower myself. He is full bore, hands-on. But there's a lot of stuff he's not comfortable doing. And then some of the stuff that he's comfortable doing has to be precise. So there's that, which is okay. I don't mind. But I feel very comfortable. You know, I feel at home. And I haven't been to California for, oh my God, 12 years? I think it's been 12, maybe longer. I came out here years ago with my son when he was about, I think he was about 13 at the time, maybe 14. And I think we spent probably about 8 or 9 days out here. But that's the last time I've been out here. But this topography is just so, although this is San Diego, it's not quite LA and all that stuff, but this is just so familiar to me. And I don't know, I just feel, I feel like I'm at home, which I am. As I said, half my life I've been in Georgia, but all my formative years were growing up here, you know, motocross riding out in deserts like this, and you know, the beach, which is out in that direction. So yeah, I'm at a comfort level doing this job, and I'm gonna go visit. I'm gonna drive up to LA after the 9 or 10 days it's gonna take me to do the shower. I'm gonna drive up to LA and go to Venice Beach and go to where I grew up and all that stuff. Santa Barbara is where I last lived, so I'll hit that place too. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna quit yapping, get to work. A couple hours later, all the dirt and the shale got put in, concrete got poured. The drain was a little off, so the bucket is there. That's weight to get it level. So now it's level both ways, and I'll wait until the concrete dries before I take the bucket away. So little tidbit for you. The drain is flush with the surface of the concrete because we don't do pre-slopes because we waterproof the surface. So that's what's going on. It is center as it possibly can be, considering what we had to go through to reconfigure this drain. I think it's ½ an inch off, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's ½ an inch off this direction, and it's about 3/4 of an inch off in that direction, which is negligible. By the time everything gets put in, the tile and all that stuff, it won't even be noticeable, except to my customer, because he's focused on perfection. So got some blocking up in the back. I got the studs up where they're going to be. The faucet, shower valve will be center, which is 21 inches to 21.5 inches, I believe. And so about where that right handle is at is where the shower valve will be. And I'll put on blocking on the back of here and get that shower valve in before I put the liner in. But until that happens, I have to wait until the concrete dries and all that stuff. Because this is the lowest spot in the house, and opening these lines, ooh, I got a toilet over there. That's the lowest spot in the house. Yeah, I'll be able to bleed out that line and get to putting in this valve today. And that's probably it. I might get the liner put down, but this is quick setting concrete. And even though I did this like over an hour ago, it's still not solid. So time is on my hands, no biggie. So the process will go relatively quickly now. I'm sure a lot of you that are watching have watched my videos before, so you already know what the process is. After that's dry, I'll put the pan liner in and pour the mortar bed and float it to where it's sloped to the drain. And then of course the plumbing. By the way, we tried a circular drain, and the nice stainless steel grate drains that I'm used to by Odie, they didn't have the circular ones. All they had is square. So we went to Lowe's, and all they had is square, the good ones. And then Floor & Decor had all the crappy ones. They had the round ones with the with aluminum snap-in top, which are garbage, complete 100% garbage. Just so you know, that's another little tidbit. Make sure it's a stainless steel, smaller grate, because even those garbage ones, the grates are very large and don't do much to catch any hair. So that's all I have to say about it right now. I don't know if I'll go... If I come back on camera, it'll be after the fact. It'll be when the liner is put in and or when the valve is put in. So not much more to say on this. It is relatively early today, I think. Let's see, almost 4 o'clock. I have another 2 or 3 hours I could be working, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to put in. I'll probably do both. You know, this is about an hour or so, hour and a half. Putting the liner in, it's about 30 minutes. So, but that's it. That's all I have to say.